A Bears fan number one. I'm still a Bears fan. I love the organization. The McCaskies were always great to me. They were always fair. Got a ton of respect for that family. Love the organization. Love the fans. Great city. The way it ended was, like you said, it's not the way I wanted it to end. It wasn't about the money for me. It wasn't about getting paid. It was about the way it was handled. That's all. Just the way. If there would have been more dialogue, like if the GM would have said, "Hey, we want you here. We can't pay you what you think you're worth or what you think you should get paid. This is what we can pay you, but we want you here. We want you on our football team, but this is all we can offer you." I probably would have said, "Sure, sign me up." It was the way it was handled was, "This is what it is. Take it or leave it. This is what we can give you. If you want to take it, if not, it's off the table by the end of the day." That's the way it was handled, and I didn't feel like that was the way it should have been handled. So that's the only bad thing about it.
Did you take from that even no matter how long you've been with a team and you're loyal to the team and playing for them, their loyalty to you by having you there and paying you good money to stay there, that at the end of it all, this really is a business?
It is a business, 100%. And I got that, but even before that, going in, it wasn't about the money. Like I said, it was $2 million, a lot of money. That's a lot of money, but the way it was handled just was not okay with me. Like I said, if they just came to me and said, "Hey, we want you, blah, blah, blah. This is what we can pay you. Will you stay?" For sure. I mean, I loved my teammates. I love being on that team. The only drawback was Lovie was gone. Lovie wasn't going to be there. That would have been really hard for me playing for a new head coach and a new defense.
Is there part of you that regrets that now and says, you know what, even though it wasn't handled well, maybe I should have just stayed. I'd still be with the Bears, and I could have gotten past that?
No. I'm glad I'm not there. Honestly, I didn't realize how good we had it when Lovie was there. Our defense was great every single year, and there's a reason we were great because of him. We had good players. We were pretty good every year at decent positions, but we were good because of him and his coaching staff. I truly believe that. We had, like I said, we had great players, but Lovie made that defense and our team go.
The way that ended, I've always thought made no sense. I try to apply logic sometimes to situations that maybe it doesn't belong. Mm-hmm. Your team finished 10-6. Yeah. You then watched a Sunday night game that ended the season between Minnesota and Green Bay.
Yeah, we're on a plane.
Minnesota had lost, because you're on a plane,
we're
so not watching.
Back from Detroit.
But the point is
just knowing that Green Bay is going to beat Minnesota,
right?
For sure, we're going to be in the playoffs next week.
And if Green Bay had beaten Minnesota, you would have made the playoffs, and we have to believe Lovie Smith would have still been the coach.
I disagree with you on that.
You don't think he would have?
I do not. I think that the GM had made up his mind before whatever happened. No matter, maybe if we go to the NFC Championship or win the Super Bowl, how do you fire him then? But that's the only way I believe he saves his job. If we get in the playoffs, we weren't that good of a football team. We probably would have lost the first round because we'd have been on the road. But we probably would have been at Green Bay, which we've seen the success the Bears have against Green Bay lately. So it would have been a tough place to win for us. But I really believe that his mind was made up before that game.
Okay, fair enough. I've always viewed it as if you made at minimum you would have had a chance.
But 10-6. And you lose your job.
10-6.
I have a hard time. I still have a hard time coming to grips with that. It's with the way he turned things around there and got the Bears playing Bears football again, defense, running the football, not turning the ball over, just doing the things that Bears fans love. It's a blue collar city. We're tough. We run the football, we take the ball away on defense, and we hit you. That's what Lovie brought back to that city.
The other thing that bothered me a lot, and Mike and I talked a lot about this, and it just is what it is. When you go back to your appearance in the NFC Championship game a few years ago where Jay Cutler couldn't finish the game. Jay Cutler,
he blew his MCL.
He blew his MCL.
No fault of his. He blew his MCL.
That's what I'm saying.
People were saying he was Jay's a tough guy. He had a torn MCL. He left the game. He couldn't play.
But as you'll recall, and I want to refresh the audience's memory for those who don't remember, there were a lot of people who didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
He was being called out on Twitter while that game is going on by active NFL players.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about media people. There were guys, and you stood up for him like nobody's business.
Yeah.
You did. And I said on the air, Brian Urlacher just did what a leader does. You stood up for him. And then when you left town, you made a big deal. When this broke down with you in Chicago, you didn't make any secret of the fact that he didn't reach out to you when that bothered you.
Well, a reporter asked me if I had heard from him, and I said no, I hadn't talked to him since I left. And then all of a sudden it was, they made a big deal. It wasn't a big deal to me. I didn't talk to him much when I played either. So it wasn't that big of a deal. But he was my teammate, and people were taking shots at him after that game. From my opinion, it wasn't fair to him. He got hurt. MJD,
Maurice Jones-Drew,
said something during the game, who himself that year missed 2 games when they had a chance to go to the playoffs with a knee injury. But he's on Twitter talking about our quarterback coming out of NFC Championship because he had a blown MCL. It's not fair to me. You don't do that. Twitter's the worst thing. It's great, but it's a bad thing because once you say it, it's out there for everyone to see. So just made me mad.
But how would you describe your relationship with Jay Cutler now?
I don't talk to him. That's my relationship with Jay Cutler. I don't talk to him. I watch him on TV. Now I watch the Bears on TV. I'm a fan. You know, I'm a fan of the game now.
Is he kind of what we see? I mean, because I've heard people say, well, he needs to do this more, do that more. And my answer's always been, well, he's been in the league a long time. This is what he is. Whether if you may not like his facial expressions or how he handles himself, but that's the way he handles himself. Yeah. So is that kind of the way he is?
He hasn't changed, that's for sure. You know, he is who he is. You always I said this a while back. So I got a bunch of flack because people asked me if I thought he was elite. I said, well, all I said was what he's shown us. I mentioned his numbers don't show. His paycheck says he's elite. His numbers do not say he's elite. You know, that's I just said the facts, and I got a bunch of flack in Chicago for saying that, but it's the truth. You know, he doesn't. You know, the picks are up there, the turnovers are there. He's talented. There's the 100% talented guy, one of the most talented guys in the NFL, but it's not a talent contest. It's about winning football games.
And to me anyway, he's a frustrating guy to figure out because Greeny and I have been, you know, on his wagon for long times because you see the talent, the arm strength.
The flashes are there. Yeah, for sure. It's just being consistent with him. And Trestman was supposed to fix all that. You know, when Trestman got there, he was going to change, or not change, just kind of shore up some things with Jay's football game.
Mike and Mike, Brian Urlacher is here. That's the thing. If it doesn't work now with the quarterback whisperer as a coach, with Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall and Matt Forte and what we thought was a good offensive line, you know, then it's never going to work. I mean, that's I have finally thrown in the towel on believing. You know, I'm a sucker for a guy who can throw a ball through a brick wall.
Yeah.
So I have always believed, and sometimes I think guys like that are their own worst enemy. When you're that kind of talented, maybe that's the reason the mechanics break down sometimes, because you're just accustomed to be able to overcome something.
Well,
like
he can make every throw in the book. You know, talent-wise, he can make every throw on the football field. And maybe you do take that for granted sometimes. You throw, well, I can get this in there. You throw off your back. I don't know. I'm not a quarterback.